Hey, Oz.
Hey, Curtis.
Hey, what movie we talking about this week?
This week we've got a combination of Days of Thunder, Step Brothers, and Rocky IV. We're coming at you with the timeless classic of a man who's down on his luck and rises himself back up. We've got Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
Rocky IV. So basically, fighting against the foreign invader from another country.
Yep. A foreigner comes in, takes the top guy down. He's got to build himself back up before he takes down the foreigner.
Yep. And he's got his buddy. He's got his buddy alongside him. Yep.
Exactly. It's Rocky IV. Talladega Nights and Rocky IV are the same movie.
I love the scene where Will Ferrell was hitting the side of beef in that cold barn.
Yeah, there was a fight when they first got together.
They did,
and Jean Girard he broke him. He told him, "I'll break you," and he did it. So, Talladega Nights is Rocky IV. So there's your plot, everybody.
Basically, we'll see you next week, folks.
Right. One had the Cold War, one had the Civil War.
There you go.
So, welcome back to another week of Let's Talk About Flicks, the movie podcast, where we take a monthly theme and basically just talk about whatever we want while we're tightening up something around a plot. I'm one of your hosts, Oz,
and I'm the other one, Curtis.
You're not the other one.
Yes,
you are not.
I'm the other one.
Oh, stop! No,
I went second, so I am by definition the other host.
Well, you're last because you didn't go first.
Not first or last.
All right, by default. Before we get rolling into our discussion of Talladega Nights, we first want to give a shout out to our 2 Patreon subscribers, Don S. and Melissa L. Thank you once again for your patronage. We really appreciate it, and keep doing what you're doing because it helps us out. Every little nickel and dime. Really, it's not even about the money. It's about the feel-goodery of we have 2 people that believe in us.
Mm-hmm. We got 2 out there.
One's a lot closer to you, and one looks a lot closer to me. So
they demonstrate their belief in us by giving us money.
That's right. It's what's more American than that?
Yep, as it should be.
All right, who do we have in this fun-filled romp of a
character
of a film?
rundown? I got a lot of characters. I'm going to buzz through them pretty fast here, Oz. You can argue that there's probably really only 3 that matter, like most movies. The 3 that matter are Ricky Bobby, played by Will Ferrell. He drives the Wonder Bread car for Dennett Racing.
Right.
His
he's
best
number
friend,
1.
He is. If you're not first, you're last. You got his best friend, Naughton Jr. He also for Dennett Racing. He drives the Old Spice car.
I thought his name was Mike Honcho.
That's.
I'm confused. Are we talking about the same movie?
We got Jean Girard, played by Sacha Baron Cohen, drives the Perrier car, also for Dennett Racing.
Yeah.
Then we have a series of other characters I will buzz through fast, just because there's a lot of like comedic actors and people and faces in this movie. We got Carly Bobby, who is both Ricky and Cal's wife at some point in the movie, played by Leslie Bibb.
Simultaneously, possibly.
Lucius Washington, Ricky's crew chief, played by Michael Clark Duncan. We got Reese Bobby and Lucy Bobby, his parents, played by Gary Cole and Jane Lynch. We have his assistant Susan, played by Amy Adams in an early-ish Amy Adams role.
Yeah. Back before she could be choosy about where to apply her acting talent.
Yeah. And a post-Drop Dead Gorgeous, but a pre was it The Arrival?
Arrival, yeah.
Yes, not The Arrival.
Pre any Oscar nominated film she's been in.
Which is pretty much everything else since then.
Yeah, pretty much.
We have Gregory, played by Andy Richter. He is Jean Girard's German Shepherd trainer husband.
Gregory.
We have Walker and Texas Ranger.
Man.
Ricky and Carly's kids. We have a cameo by the director Adam McKay playing Terry Chevereau. I somehow never realized that was Adam McKay until
I didn't either till this one. Yeah.
We got Herschel, Kyle, and Glenn, pit crew members for Ricky Bobby, played by David Koechner, Ian Roberts, and Jack McBrayer. And then you have the villain, Larry Dennett Jr., played by Greg Germain, I don't know, German, whatever. And then his wife, played by Molly Shannon.
I love Molly Shannon in this movie. Like, just such a small dose, but she's so perfect.
Yeah. Whew. Okay, what do we got for the plot here, Oz? There's a long, winding plot to this movie.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like I mentioned, it's a tale as old as time.
As old as 1987 with Rocky IV.
Right. We got our title man, Ricky Bobby, born in North Carolina.
What makes a movie a ballad, by the way?
Just if you call it a ballad. I think so. So North Carolina, like you said, Ricky Bobby's parents she's pregnant, and her husband Reese, her man Reese, I don't know if it's husband or not, but
the baby's father Reese.
Right. He's a man of speed. He
likes to go fast.
He's on his way, taking her to the emergency room, and just blows right past it, slams on the brakes, and ta-da! Ricky Bobby is born,
complete with a squish sound.
Right, very squishy. He was born in the back seat of a race car on county roads. So Bobby grew up not knowing his father. Reese just took off, only seeing it. The first time he saw him was when he was 10 years old, and it was like a career day. Bring your dad to school.
That's one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it's funny because like Cal Naughton Jr., like, they're best friends, and they're in class together, even at a young age. And so we meet one girl's dad who manages a Waffle House.
I love with his tie like above his belly button.
Oh yeah, like he doesn't know how to wear one.
That's all I know about managing the Waffle House.
Ma'am.
What else do you want me to say? And I need to know where your commode's at.
And so, she calls on Ricky. Where's your dad? Well, my dad, I haven't seen my dad. And about that time, boom, Reese Bobby walks in and starts telling the class what he's up to, which is basically a whole lot of nothing. Nothing you should be broadcasting at your child's school anyway.
Yep. Tells the kids, you shouldn't listen to losers like your know-it-all teacher over there.
Right, exactly. Don't listen to that idiot. Reese gets thrown out of school, and he drops a nugget of wisdom on Ricky Bobby. If you ain't first, you're last.
Which becomes Ricky's guiding principle.
That is his Yoda. And so that's what Ricky's going to do. So he finds himself years later, 15 years later to be exact.
Yes.
He's working on the pit crew for Dennett Racing for a driver named, like you mentioned, Terry Chevereau, played by the director and writer Adam McKay. Terry's losing the race, so at a pit stop, he just gets out. He's got to go to bathroom break. It stops and gets a chicken sandwich.
Well, he's in dead last. It's not like he can fall further behind.
Well, what's going to happen? And so they need a driver. So he's, Michael Clark Duncan. Is it Lucius?
Lucius, yeah.
Lucius like, who wants to go fast? Or Rigger, I want to go fast.
I want to go fast.
And he ends up taking third in that race.
Yeah, what came from dead last to finish in
not
third.
Only dead last, but probably lapped more than once dead last. So and with that comes the fame and fortune of being NASCAR and Dennett Racing's top driver. Mm-hmm. While racing, he meets his future wife Carly. And please be
18.
Right. She flashes her headlights at him, and they become married. So, so years after he's a superstar, like he is racing. He is your Dale Earnhardt. Yeah. He is your Rusty Wallace of NASCAR. Bobby persuades Dennett to, hey, I need a second team because basically I got my buddy Cal Naughton Jr. So now we've got two of them. We've got Ricky and we got Cal, and they are the shake and bake team.
Shake and bake. You shake it and then you bake it.
Oh, I
it's so stupid, but you can't help but laugh.
Viewers and listeners, if this is your first episode, you got a lot to catch up with. If it is not your first episode, you should know by now that Curtis and I are huge fans of John C. Reilly, and this is just another one of those just John C. Reilly. Like, if there was like a legit comedy award for movies, not just like like the Golden Globes, but that's not even. Like that, they wouldn't even look at like a Talladega Nights for like best comedy or best comedic performance or whatever. But if there was, I really wish there was like a legitimate awards, for just like comedies or because you feel like horror. They've got so many. And
they got stuff.
I won't say any of them are like full blown legitimate, but there's a swelling around the horror genre that I don't think comedy gets. And I think just because, and I'll get to it a little bit later, like not every joke is going to land for every person. So yeah, we got Ricky and we got Cal, and they are just unstoppable duo. They got their shake and bake move where Ricky will be in second place or third place and Cal will be in second place, and Ricky will drift up behind him and pick up his draft and then slingshot him around second and first to where Ricky takes the lead and wins like every race. And so they're just winning races. At one point, like Ricky wins a race in reverse.
Yeah.
Like they get swapped around and he finishes the race running backwards and still wins.
While Kickstart My Heart's playing in the background.
Exactly. Yeah. The soundtrack to this movie was fun.
I
won't say it's like, like if you were to gift to me like the soundtrack to this film, it would be fun in parts. I don't know if I could listen to it straight through.
You're not gonna find great meaning in the songs. On the soundtrack, but yeah.
But they definitely picked the right music to go with the right scenes, and I also get to that a little bit later.
Ooh.
So as they are celebrating their most recent victory, they're at a bar. What's it called? The pit stop or something like that?
Yeah, the pit stop. Sounds right.
They're celebrating it, and Cal and Ricky are having a conversation. Basically, it's really getting to Cal Naughton Jr. that he never gets to win, and he just asks Ricky, "Hey, it'd be cool if you let me win." And Ricky's like, "Yeah, that would be cool, but then I can't win." And you're right. I'll just bottle this way down.
I'll just bury it deep down. It's painful.
Because he's a good friend.
Yeah. He doesn't want to let Ricky down.
No. About that time, the jukebox screeches and jazz music starts playing. And we meet the, I guess, villain of the movie. Openly gay Formula One driver, Frenchman Jean Girard, played by Borat or Ali G or
Bruno,
or whoever you want. But played by Sacha Baron Cohen. So they get in a little, spit match. Girard is there to say, I'm new to the Dennett Racing team, and I am going to beat you. Like
I used to race in Formula 1.
Yeah, this is like this French accent is beyond terrible.
Oh yeah, intentionally bad.
But it's intentionally bad. Yeah, it's so awful, but that it makes it funny again. And it doesn't take long before, as they keep referring him to, Frenchie. Frenchie can drive. So Jean Girard, he's beating Bobby, like Ricky Bobby, left and right. He's come in, and meanwhile he's like drinking a macchiato, or he's reading some French book, while he's driving. And Ricky he can't beat him. And so we get to a race. They're racing at Lowe's Motor Speedway, and there's just a crash. There's a terrible crash, and Ricky, and it's funny, but his car flips and flips and flips and flips, and he
in the air for like 30 seconds.
Right? He thinks he's on fire. The paramedics show up. He's not on fire. He's running around like he's on fire. Strips down out of his flame retardant suit, which is not what you want to take off if you think you're on fire.
Yes. Praise to every deity he can think of, including Tom Cruise
and Oprah Winfrey. I don't know why I always got a chuckle out of him mispronouncing her last name, Oprah Winfrey.
Winfrey.
But yeah, so he's kind of done. Like like Jean Girard, he got into his mind.
You got into his mind, coach.
But yeah, Jean Girard, he did a real number on him. Like Ricky Bobby has seen the fear and lost all confidence in his driving ability. Kind of a fun little scene after this flip or whatever. Like he thinks he's in a coma. He's not in a coma.
No.
There's like a pretty extensive like hospital scene where people keep coming in talking to him, and we see it like from his like squinted vision.
Yeah.
So they're talking to him like he's passed on, or he's going to be, he's a vegetable or whatever.
Carly wants to pull the plug despite the fact that the doctor says he's just taking a nap.
Right, he's fine. I've never seen him like this before. I'm ready. I'm ready to pull the plug. In the extended version that I watched, because I don't remember all the little ins and outs. Did Cal Naughton Jr. Yeah, he did. He tried to suffocate him with a pillow in the theatrical version, because that's what kind of woke Ricky up. But like at one point, like Lucius is reading a Judy Blume book to him, and he's reading like whatever characters are in the book, like they had just started like their menstrual cycle, like for the first time. So it's fun listening to Michael Clark Duncan read a Judy Blume book out loud about menstruation. I have no idea why that got cut from the movie. But Dennett fires him. He's off the team, but he's like I said, he's in the hospital. He thinks he's in a coma. He's not.
No.
Once Cal tries to suffocate him with a pillow because he can't see him like this, he's going to end it for him, and he fights him off. We cut to a quick scene where he's out on a basketball court in a wheelchair, and almost like they're playing. He thinks he's paralyzed from the waist down now.
The doctors are like, just let him work it out. It's best that he just works it out on his own.
Yeah, the doctor's like, he just found that wheelchair in the hallway as he like jumps out of his chair to block a guy's shot. Yeah. So then they're Lucius and Cal are having a face-to-face with Ricky about there's nothing wrong with your legs, and Ricky's like, I'm a paraplegic. He wishes that both of these guys have a son that then can grow up and lose their legs so that they can feel his pain.
Don't you put that evil on me. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky.
But it's I love this little scene here where they're trying to convince him that. And so Ricky picks up like a steak knife, which, they just have laying around.
Yeah, just laying around at hospitals. There's steak knives everywhere.
And he stabs himself in the leg just to prove that he has no
paralyzed. Feeling in his legs, yeah.
Of course, he immediately reacts to it. Then they start celebrating that he's, he's still in a lot of pain, but they're kind of celebrating there. Then he thinks he's hit a nerve, so he kind of starts getting real twitchy. Then I just love it where Lucius has taken another steak knife and jabbed it into his leg to try to wedge out the first.
Yeah, because the first one's stuck. So let's get another one in there.
And Ricky Bobby's like, but now I've got two knives in my leg. He's like, no, the second one's just in there to help. Yeah. Then they're talking about like cutting the meat around the knife, like they're just gonna like take the whole hunk of leg,
taking a chunk out of his leg, yeah, like you're removing drywall or something.
Right, and it's like it's just a couple minutes long, but it was so funny. But yeah, Ricky gets out of the hospital, finds out he's no longer part of Dennett's racing team. Carly has divorced him, leaves him for Cal Naughton Jr. of all people.
Yep.
Ricky gets home, he gets home and Cal's already moved in.
Yeah.
He's taped his face over the family portrait.
Cal still treats him like they're best friends, though.
Oh, yeah. Wedding's going to be in a couple weeks.
You should be there.
And Ricky's smart enough to be like, no, man, this isn't right. Ricky, he falls into this depression. It's like, the guy was sitting on $21 million he just made that year. And then I guess the money just vanished, because he ends up moving back in with his mom.
Well, even with the money, he wouldn't know what else to do. He's Ricky Bobby.
Right, he wouldn't. Right. And so he moves in with his mom, brings his two sons, Walker and Texas Ranger, with him.
His two complete jerk sons.
Oh, yeah, very disrespectful kids. They're awful kids. They're the kind of kids that, I hope no teacher ever has to have in the classroom. He takes his job as a pizza delivery man.
It's a cop with the pizza car.
Yeah, he gets in to make a delivery. He backs into one car, or he backs into the police car. Was it the police car? No,
he backed into a car.
Right, the police show up, write him a ticket. I promise, sir, that'll never happen again. The cop that walks in front of the truck, and then Ricky runs into him, makes him go flying. So now Ricky's delivering pizzas on in my version, he's taking the bus. He's taking like city transit in the extended version. You know, at one point you see him, he's riding a bike. He's taking pizzas. It's not
like a Huffy.
Yeah, right. So he gets one delivery to a motel. And when he delivers the pizza, he sees that the guy's got several pizzas already there. Well, it turns out that this guy he's been trying to get Ricky to be his delivery man because it's his dad, and it's time for another life lesson.
Yep.
And so Reese basically tells Ricky, "Hey, you've seen the fear, man. That's what happened.
Yep.
Like
the
you
fear.
Still have you still have all the ability in the world. You just got to get past your fear." Meanwhile, Lucy's trying to reform the grandkids because they're just awful. And so Reese has got some very interesting methods to get Ricky back into the driver's seat. First of which is putting a live cougar in his car and then calling the cougar Fear, which is the cougar's real name is Karen.
Yeah, you got to get past fear. So
right, yeah. So Ricky tries to drive this race car with a live cougar in there. At one point he even tells him he's like, he wakes up from a nap and tells him he's got a kilo of cocaine taped underneath the car, and he called the police and told him, "You're coming." So here we go. Long story short, Ricky gets it back.
Yes.
He
overcomes the fear.
He overcomes his fear, learns to drive again. That really the running away from the police is what got it back on track, because it turned out it was just a bag of Lucky Charms.
I'll pause you for a quick second. In the middle of this sequence, there's a fun little throwaway gag, and it's one that I use with Patreon user Melissa L on a frequent basis.
What's that?
Cal calls Ricky. It says, "I think the house is haunted."
Oh yeah, I love this part.
I got the TV on and I got the stereo going. Well, why do you got the TV on with the stereo?
Because I like to party.
So that is my go-to response whenever Patreon subscriber Melissa L asks what I'm doing or why I'm doing, because I like to party. Because I like to party.
We also skipped what might be one of the most popular running gags of this movie.
Yep.
And it's that whenever Ricky says grace, he's always praying to sweet Lord Baby Jesus.
Yeah.
With more and more detail in each saying of grace. Dear 8-pound, 5-ounce baby Jesus.
I like my baby Jesus wearing a tuxedo T-shirt.
As it says, I'm formal, but I like to party. So once Ricky once he overcomes his fears and he gets his nerve back, they go out to celebrate at a nice fancy restaurant.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
That's right. They go to Applebee's.
Because when I want to go to a classy establishment for a celebratory meal, I'm going to Applebee's.
It's Mom, Dad, and Ricky and the boys. Mm-hmm. And it's too much for Reese.
Yep.
It's too much emotion, too much happiness, too much feel good,
too much organization, he's too much normalcy.
He starts berating the waitress, gets himself kicked out of the Applebee's. Ricky chases him down and was like, "Dad, I've done all this for you." And he's like, "What do you mean you did it for me?" He's like, "Well, you told me that day back in 5th grade or whatever, that if you ain't first, you're last." And of course, Reese is like, "I was high."
Yeah.
Like,
what does that
second
mean?
Place, there's third place, there's fourth.
It's all sorts of places.
It's like that's a stupid way to live your life. So Ricky basically is now this was the last skin of the onion, the last peel.
Yeah,
everything is
he's had his epiphany. Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I see what you did there with the Applebee's joke.
Unintentional. I'm just that clever.
That's pretty good.
But everything he'd built his life around has fallen away now, including his guiding light, his mantra. So it's time to build himself back up. So this is where he runs into his former assistant, Susan, played by the delightful Amy Adams. She basically says, you just got to go back to NASCAR because it's in your nature to drive fast. And she gives him this big hyped up speech.
This passionate speech.
Very passionate. That really only like an actress of her caliber could probably pull off in a goofy comedy movie like this. She delivers it and he's all in it. He's just like, it's going to get crazy. Like, we're going to make animal noises. right there at the Applebee's. So they quickly are falling for each other. Like, we don't even dive into their romance. We just basically see that she is the one that's, I won't say fully gotten him back on track, but once he was like completely lost after Reese got kicked out of Applebee's, like, she's the one that was like,
as the song "Faithfully" by Journey plays in the background.
Exactly. Another one of those that. And so they get it back, and he makes up. He's made up with everybody.
Yeah, Lucius, the old pit crew.
Yeah, the old pit crew. Even Jean Girard, Carly. He's owning all the mistakes he'd made in his past.
Well, Girard even says, the only reason I'm doing this is because I want to retire to Stockholm with Gregory to design a currency for cats and dogs. But but I need someone to beat me. Like,
I can't. I've got to go down,
and it's got to be authentic. Like, I can't go into it with half rear-ended.
Yeah, and so so Ricky's the one. He's got to be the one. So he gets a car, he gets his pit crew back together. He has no engine. He's got himself in a race. The pit crew, they work together with other independent drivers to get it parts. Basically, they build back the car.
Yeah.
He has a car now, and it's not sponsored by anybody. It has a picture of a cougar on it and the word "me." He's doing it for himself.
I'm racing for me, not Wonder Bread.
And he even says, like, what company is me? It's like, no, it's you, Ricky. And another big speech by Susan. That is just an awesome speech that then Jack McBrayer steps in and ruins when he starts talking about Excalibur. And
I love Jack McBrayer.
Oh, I do too.
Peaches and cream.
Oh, man. And so, Jean Girard, he's in pole position at the race, and Ricky Bobby's at the very back of the race.
He starts in last.
And so Ricky, he uses his driving skills, and he works his way back up to where now, he's back up in I won't say the lead, but he's top 3.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Cal and Ricky had a talk. Cal's been trying to play tough guy. He's now Magic Man. Now you see me, now you don't.
My head's tied up like a pretzel. I got a pretzel in my head.
But this whole time he's been more than friendly to Ricky.
Yeah.
Inviting him over to his own home and things like that. And Ricky's been against it. Well, he's trying to be tough with Ricky, and Ricky he's like, you know what, you're right. I did you wrong, Cal. Mm-hmm. I should have let you win. And it really messes Cal up.
Yeah, he just can't. He just can't wrap his mind around it.
Right? He's like, I can't. So that's how Cal's driving this race, is confused.
Yeah.
So Ricky works his all the way back up, basically to the point where we've got the head of Dennett Racing, who's sitting down with a guy from Halliburton for whatever reason.
Because it's the mid 2000s. That's why.
Right. And the Halliburton guy's telling me, he's like, that Ricky Bobby, he's driving really well, to where Dennett doesn't want to look like a fool. Mm-hmm. So he gets on the radio, basically, and tells somebody, you tell Cal to take out Ricky Bobby. So they, he gets on, they page him over. He's like, because Ricky's in second now. It's Jean Girard, Ricky Bobby, Cal Naughton Jr., and he's been told, you take him out. And Cal's like, I can't do that. He's my best friend. Mm-hmm. And so it's slingshot engaged.
Yep.
He goes flying by Ricky, pulls up right in front of him, because it's time to shake and bake again. And like you said earlier, first you shake it, then you bake it.
Then you bake it. and then you bake it.
I love how every time the camera is like in the car of either Cal or Ricky, it's that like Michael Bay like Dutch angle.
Yeah, like mounted, like kind of mounted on the dash, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's cockeyed, and it's done intentionally, but it just, like, you saw it in Days of Thunder all the time. They don't ever show Jean Girard that way, because they kind of go wide angled with him, so they could show him drinking his coffee or or reading his book.
Yeah, reading a book on existentialism.
And so Cal, he slingshots Ricky. Ricky's up there, but then one of the other Dennett Racing guys takes Cal out.
Yeah,
which
takes out the whole field.
The entire field outside of Jean Girard and Ricky Bobby are in this accident. So now this is a 2-car race. I don't know how the racing, this part I always thought it was kind of weird, because you got Ricky and Jean that survived this crash and are neck and neck, right? Mm-hmm. As they're driving away from the wreckage, and then they're like, oh well, the race crew quickly got that wreck cleaned up. Like, these guys had to have stopped while they were cleaning it up. Like, there's no way that these two were still driving on that same lap, and by the time they got back around to the wreckage, like, the other 32 cars were clear off the track.
It's movie magic, Oz.
I know they said it's a 500-mile race, but it wasn't one lap that's 500 miles long.
It's just one gigantic lap.
Yeah, by the time we get back around, that wreck will be gone.
They're just circling the state of Iowa.
So it's the final lap. Jean and Ricky have one lap to go. Whoever wins, whoever leads at the end of the single lap, they get to the final straightaway, and then they wreck. And this wreck takes so long they cut away for commercial break.
And what kind of commercial do they cut to, Oz?
It's like Cajun shrimp and chicken from Applebee's. I remember that ad when it was on. I was like, oh, I remember that. And so they cut to an Applebee's ad. When they come back, the cars are still flipping, and they land. They land on their roofs, and but both racers get out and kind of stare at each other, and then start a foot race to the song's in my head, but I can't get the title.
We Belong by Pat Benatar.
Yeah, I knew it was Benatar. We Belong. So these two are sprinting towards the finish line, and one last ditch effort jumps. I think just because Will Ferrell was a little taller than Sacha Baron Cohen, he got to the finish line first. His arm was a little longer. Ricky wins. He wins the foot race. He beats Jean Girard. Jean Girard can now retire happy. Mm-hmm. He's been beaten officially. Ricky first plants a big lip lock on him, just to show that, hey, I'm open-minded too. Yeah. And come to find out, though, that actually, because they both left their car, neither of them won the race.
So technically,
the person, it's Cal Naughton Jr. So Cal gets his victory. He's excited for the win. Carly tries to get Ricky to move back in with her. I'm ready. I think I'm ready to take you back. To which, in the extended version, again, I don't remember which. I know this wasn't all there. In the extended version, she flashes him her chest, in which he's like, okay, I'm on my way. Like, I'm moving in. Everybody comes in and they're like taking pictures of her chest. And then he's like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. Can I see him one more time? She raises her shirt again, and then pulls it down, and he's like, no, I can't do it. Susan comes up, and then Carly starts berating Susan. And then, and she's like, good luck, you weirdos, as she's marching off. Well, then in the extended version, Amy Adams, like, Susan calls her back and said, hey, Carly, I've always wanted to do this. And then she exposes her chest to Carly, who Carly is like, are those natural? Basically one-ups Carly in her own goods. Meanwhile, David Koechner is still reaching over with his cell phone trying to take a picture of both.
Of course it's David Koechner.
Of course it is. And it was just a fun, it was, like I said, extended, but a little fun because it was like this chest off. I think David Koechner even said to both of you, because can I get one of the both of you? Yeah, so David Koechner in this role is basically, he's basically reprising his role from The Office.
Yeah. Yeah.
only as a pit man. So yeah, Carly asks him to move back in. He chooses to stay with Susan. Bobby and the family on their way back out to the car is met by Reese, Reese is like, hey, good for you. It's like Bobby's like, it was no longer about winning. I just, no matter what, I knew I had people that loved me. It wasn't that at all. So then they decide to go celebrate, to go get kicked out of Applebee's. And, and they're all living happily ever after. Ricky has got what he wants and needs. Cal finally got the recognition he deserves. Jean Girard was freed from his racing cockpit, just purgatory. I want to escape this, and now I've been defeated. And then we cut to the credits of a bunch of bloopers, which were very funny. Watching Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly try to hold a straight face, and you almost get the feel that that McKay was probably just slinging stuff at him.
Just peppering him with stuff.
Very much like John Mulaney throws stuff at Stefan on Weekend Update, just trying to make him crack. And that's one thing we know Will Ferrell will do is crack. Because he made a career of it on. Well, he was actually pretty good towards the end of Saturday Night Live, keeping a straight face. But
when it became more about cracking Jimmy Fallon than anything else,
exactly, because you knew all he needed to do was just be on set, and you knew Fallon was going to lose it. So, but ladies and gentlemen, that's Talladega Nights, kind of the quick and dirty version of it.
Not that there's too much to it, anyways. Yeah,
no, there are not many layers of this film to dive under. So it was your riches to rags to riches story.
Mm-hmm. Well, at this point in the show, folks, Oz and I give our own unique rating to the film we've been talking about. In this case, Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. Oz, how would you rate this flick?
Oh, I would give this 7.5 trained German shepherds.
7.5 trained German shepherds. Okay.
Yes. What would you give it?
Let's go with 3 spilled espressos.
They were macchiatos.
Oh, macchiatos, my mistake.
Yeah.
I said espressos.
You made me spill my macchiato.
My macchiato.
my Gregory.
All right, next up in our rundown is Outside Insight, where Oz and I each bring an unprofessional review that we found somewhere on the interwebs to the show. Oz, what do you got for us this week?
I'm gonna take a page out of not a page out of Ricky Bobby's book. I'm gonna let you go first. Aww. I'm not gonna Ricky Bobby this one. So it's your turn. It's your turn, Cal. You get to win this one. I'm gonna let you.
You gonna slingshot me?
There you go. Shake and bake.
Shake and bake. This one comes from IMDb from Tony Leonardo 3. Sharp and Stupid. It's a pretty funny movie. You could tell Will Ferrell and Sacha Cohen, a.k.a. Ali G, and John C. Reilly all had the opportunity to improv lines and riff off one another. All three were pretty good. Ricky Bobby's kids were given some choice lines and nailed home some great, albeit loud and aggro, deliveries. Amy Adams is totally hot.
Not just partially, all the way.
There's more to it, but we'll just leave it there. Amy Adams is totally hot.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh.
Thanks, Tony Leonardo 3.
Yeah.
Amy Adams is totally hot.
That was all his review wanted to say was Amy Adams is totally hot. But I'm like, I don't want to come off like that. I better lead with something else.
Well, the subtext is I'm going to say Amy Adams is totally hot. Hope that she somehow reads this and that she finds her way to my house. That's what he was really getting at.
Yeah, because Amy Adams, I'm sure, suffers from she has low self-esteem and no one has ever complimented her on her looks before. Yeah. So you are the real magic man. You need David Copperfield hidden in your car to shoot magic out the window.
If I say that Amy Adams is totally hot and a rando post at IMDb, maybe.
I bet so you're telling me there's a chance.
You beat me to it. All right, Oz, let's hear your outside insight.
Oh, mine is a half-star rating by BK Ball on Letterboxd. Guess the entire plot around 8 minutes into the film. only highlight of this film was there was a cougar in it, and I like big cats.
This person working like Big Cat Rescue or something?
I think so. They must. They're half star.
But that half star was just for the cougar. It would have been a 0.
Right. I guessed the entire plot around 8 minutes. I didn't realize this was a Shyamalan flick. I guessed this plot 8 minutes into the film. Well, it wasn't real deep.
I totally predicted this one. This mid-2000s Will Ferrell comedy.
Yeah, I saw Anchorman. I could have told you how this was going to go. Like, all right.
Okie dokie. Well, folks, it's the time you've all been waiting for, and this week's edition of Let's Talk About Flicks, the 3-2-1, where Oz and I each share 3 goods, 2 bads, and 1 about the film in question. This is our signature segment, Oz. What are your 3 goods for Talladega Nights?
My first good is I was early in the movie before Jean Girard showed up. There was a little scene where they were in a garage. Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly were doing like commercials, like just quick little one-offs.
Yeah.
And I love that commercial bit. And then there's an outtake of several more of those at the end of the movie, like right at the beginning of the credits. And so that's my first good. I love those, like Will Ferrell talking to the camera, you know, big red gum. If you don't chew big red,
Yeah.
you know? And there's others that it's just they're just funny. Those that made the movie, you could tell, were probably a little more scripted.
Yeah.
You know, but the outtakes, like we talked about earlier, were probably just, you know, just McKay throwing lines at them and saying, do this, do this.
Just say this and don't laugh.
Like neither one of them could hold it when they're talking about like the pack of wild dogs that are like controlling local government. And it's so much because there was a lot of that in Anchorman as well. Like when Ron Burgundy is reading just like the news headlines, like the Human Torch was denied a bank loan, like just stuff like that. You know, I just find those funny because I just do. My second good is the supporting cast.
Yes.
Huge supporting cast. Just pitch perfect casting all across the board. Not the movie Pitch Perfect. Like Anna Kendrick wasn't in this.
Pitch Perfect was great.
Yeah.
Now about this week's movie.
There's that cup scene in this movie that, you know, but no, the supporting cast in this was great. As much as I enjoy Will Ferrell, I will readily admit that that only Will Ferrell is a lot to digest.
Yes.
And so he needed a supporting cast that could hang with him. And I don't think there's anybody better than John C. Reilly, Sacha Baron Cohen, you know, even, you know, Jane Lynch, you know, and you know, just all of them, David Koechner and, you know,
Gary Cole,
Ian Roberts, Gary Cole, and like, you know, Michael Clark Duncan. Everybody played just a great part in balancing out, like being able to help carry the humor in each scene, because a little bit of Will Ferrell goes a long way, and I think that they cast this perfect. I think that's why Anchorman is so successful. I think you know, that's just why Step Brothers was so good. You know, but there's a magic to that cast, and I think that they did a great job with the supporting cast. My third good, and this is a very specific portion of it. The final race when Cal refuses to take out Ricky Bobby and engages the shake and bake, and then AC/DC's TNT drops. Right? It's just like, and it's like they're shooting just about all of it, you know, from afar, so it looks like NASCAR footage. It's race footage, like just that scene. I'm not a NASCAR guy, whatever, but just that little scene there when all that was going in, that was like that. It was the sports movie moment for me. It was to a lesser degree. It was Rocky winning a fight. It was Daniel LaRusso winning a fight. Like it was time, and it was and so that one scene, like I had like happy tears in my eyes. I'm a huge sentimental guy. If a movie can take an impactful sports scene and lay the right music over it, it gets me like every time. Every time. I cry at the end of Rocky every time. I cry at the end of Karate Kid when he takes... every time. Every time I tear up at the end of Karate Kid. I know how it's going to end, but it doesn't matter. And so this obviously a much lesser degree, but that specific racing sequence... when AC/DC started dropping just that opening beat to the song, it nailed it for me. So that was my third good. How about you?
I will start with this kind of dovetails a little bit off what you were just saying there as well. The cinematography / effects for this movie. I thought again, as you and I'm not the biggest NASCAR fan. It's just not a sport that either of us really grew up with.
Sick. Right.
Yeah, and it is what it is, but I thought they really...
I did grow up with it, but it was probably, that's why I'm not anymore. It was like, like my stepdad raced cars on the weekends, and so it was going to the races on Saturday night, and then watching NASCAR on Sunday, and then my dad is a big NASCAR guy. So I think it was just
overexposure.
Overexposure and a little bit of like rebellion of like, I don't want any of that.
I don't want your life.
Right.
Another sports movie.
Come on, Johnny Moxon. Oh, that movie is so ridiculous. Oh, God, yeah. I do love Varsity Blues because it is so dumb.
Well, maybe that's a potential future one is bad sports movies.
Bad sports movies. But as a high school football player, I played high school football and I could see some of that there. I never got the whipped cream treatment in high school.
No, that wasn't a real thing.
Not in Illinois. Not at my school. At least not in my bedroom.
Yeah.
It wasn't a real thing.
Mental note: bad sports movies, future month.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll add it to the list now. Yeah. So anyway, go ahead with you.
But yeah, so yeah, the cinematography, the effects. I honestly couldn't tell when the cars were digital and when they weren't. So I thought they did a great job capturing the energy in those sequences, and and giving you an idea of, I guess, what that racing environment is like, and what the sport is like, which is the point of doing a sports movie. My second one would be just the how well Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly just work off each other. They're they get each other, they understand each other. John C. Reilly, I think, is, if he's not at the top of our respective actor lists, he's got to be up there, because it's he's so funny, and then he goes and does like a dramatic movie like Magnolia or like Chicago,
right?
And he's equally good there.
Yeah.
But he's just hysterical. Quick sidebar: my dad used to work with John C. Reilly's brother.
Really?
Yep.
Paul C. Reilly?
His brother's name was C. John Reilly.
It's weird.
Yeah. Riley John C.
You used to work with John C. Reilly's dad, huh?
Or his brother. Did I say
brother? Brother. No, we were talking about your dad, which is why I said dad. Your dad worked with his brother. Yep. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's how it worked. I don't know if you ever met John C. or not, but knows his brother.
Cool.
Yeah.
We've got all kinds of connections.
I do. That's me. When people need connections to Hollywood, they come through me.
We had a guy on our floor in college, freshman year, that his mom was good friends with Chris Klein's mom or something like that, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. And
they went to school together for a while.
Do you want to indicate what the rumor was?
It's ridiculous.
Uh-huh. Because in American Pie...
No. Yes. All right.
The speculation.
It's dumb.
You don't want to say this.
It's speculation. Well, I will, but it's so far-fetched and silly that it doesn't even... It sounds completely made up.
That's what makes it a great rumor.
I know. Okay, supposedly, we'll make this quick. So there was a guy on our floor, and was it Andy?
It was Andy.
It was Andrew, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Guy on our floor, Andy, who went to school with Chris Klein of Election and American Pie fame. So, and they were friends, and then Chris Klein moved to Nebraska, I believe it was. That's how he was cast in the movie Election with Reese Witherspoon. I, at the time, had a big crush on Reese Witherspoon, so I said something to Andy about, because as you do when you're a stupid freshman in college. Hey, tell your friend Chris that, whatever. So, my name is, for show purposes and nickname purposes, is Oz. So, here we go. Andy talks to Chris Klein about, I have a friend in college named Oz. Supposedly. And again, you brought this up. I didn't bring this up. Supposedly, Chris Klein, who had just been cast in American Pie, liked the nickname Oz, and apparently went to the filmmakers and asked to have his name changed so that his nickname in the movie American Pie would be Oz. So apparently, as rumor says, I am the inspirational basis for Chris Klein's character's name in the movie American Pie. That'll sound about right?
That sounds right.
Okay. I've told my wife that story, and she thinks I am full of it. And I'm like, I don't care. It's what I was told. I didn't make it up. It's what Andy told me. Andy told us.
Another rumor I've never told you, I was actually the basis for Yeardley Smith's boyfriend in Maximum Overdrive. Curtis, are you dead?
I did not know that.
That's 100% factual right there. 1985's Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah. You would have been, 5 years old when the movie came out.
Big inspiration.
Your name was Curtis.
It was Curtis. And Yeardley Smith got a hold of that. And one thing led to another, and her boyfriend's name in Maximum Overdrive is Curtis.
So, one of these rumors is supposedly true. The other one was made up on the spot.
Listeners will let you decide which.
Right. So there you go. Take with it as you will.
So my last, I think I got one more good, really quick.
Yeah, you got one more good.
I love the Applebee's drops. I love how Apple.
Yeah, I know, that's fun. I love them too. I do. I love all of the super specific, normal, everyday man references in this movie. But at the same time, I sat here almost like, should I be offended by these references? Because they are clearly making fun of, they're making fun of Walmart. They're making fun of Applebee's. They're making fun of these things. And I'm like, but wait, I shop at Walmart and I've eaten at an Applebee's. Because he does the same. Yeah. They do the same thing in, when they're in, one movie where he's talking about it's Will Ferrell. They're gonna go to the Home Depot, and it's they're funny. But at the same time, I'm like, but I'm too. Oh, is it? I don't think it's Step Brothers. The Wedding Crashers. I know he doesn't say it in there. He just yells for Meatloaf. But anyway, it is what it is. But it's But it's but what, there's that little bit that I'm like, but wait a minute, those are places that I go.
I would think that with as much as Applebee's was exposed in this, you'd have to think that they had some kind of sponsorship deal or something.
Oh, of course they did. Yeah, they're behind it.
I guess they didn't make Wonder Bread pay anything.
I did read that too. That a lot of the sponsors didn't have to pay anything. That they just we need your backing,
and that's it. And even Will Ferrell, he did some of the press junkets, wearing the Wonder Bread outfit as well. So Wonder Bread really did well off this movie.
Well, assuming you go out and changed your choice of bread brands because of a Will Ferrell.
Oh, movie. I did completely. All I chew now is Big Red.
You never even ate. You've got a gluten allergy, but you still eat Wonder Bread.
It's in the Will Ferrell movie. I got to do what he says.
Right.
I also only drink a Perrier.
Right. Well, I only drink Powerade because he was contractually obligated to mention Powerade every grace.
That's right. In every grace. Yeah. All right, Oz. Get us back on track. What are your two bads?
My first bad is the Sons, Walker and Texas Ranger. They fine. They're there for comedic purposes. Neither kid was really a good actor. I thought Texas Ranger was a little funnier, but
he was the younger one, right?
Yeah, he was the younger one. I guess this just comes with my 19, 20 years of teaching experience that I'm like, I hate kids like that, and so I mean But again, that bad leads into my second bad. Is we talked about this during Mel Brooks month as well. just the scattershot of jokes. That the ones that land, at least for you and I, land and run and are well crafted and well delivered and everything. But there's just so many other jokes that I just wonder, like I sit and I wonder, I'm like, is there somebody that watches this movie and doesn't find the jokes that I find funny, but finds the jokes that I don't find funny? Does that make sense? Like the inverse humor of this. Somebody that's watching this and they think, that the two boys are the funniest people in the movie, and that everybody else is a lost cause. And so that's my other one. It's just the scattershot of jokes. It's like you do see some comedies where they are funny premises, but they're not. But that's Will Ferrell movie. I mean, that's an Adam Sandler movie for you. That's just the nature of the beast. Is if we shoot 100 shots and we make 70 of them, instead of shooting 70 for 70, we'd rather shoot 70 for 100. So. Sure. But those are my two bads.
My first bad is this movie's 16 years old already, Oz.
I know.
And there's some ableist language in there. There's some discriminatory LGBTQ community language in there. So you have to kind of groan through those and understand. Again, it's a product of its time. Doesn't make it right. Yeah. And then the other one was more Gary Cole. I want more Gary Cole.
I know he's so good.
Yeah, he's good in everything he does, and more Gary Cole, please.
Right. Should make a Gary Cole and Joan Cusack movie. We'd be there.
Yeah.
And
underused actors.
But only because we can't have she was in the Mel Brooks movies. We talked about her all the time.
Madeline Kahn.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think you can have heard it. Can't have
Wrath of Madeline Kahn.
Right. That's Star Trek 2.
Yep. Wrath of Madeline Kahn.
with Ricardo Maltacon as She still wears a chest plate, but
yeah. Oz, what's your
My how quickly can one get divorced in North Carolina? Like this, the trajectory of the Bobby marriage shifted in an afternoon. So, but that was my That was quick.
Yeah. My is Cal Naughton Jr. standard for what a party is.
It's kind of all over the place. It does require a tuxedo.
It requires a tuxedo, a baby Jesus in a tuxedo t-shirt.
Right.
And the TV and the stereo both being on at the same time.
I love when that scene cuts out, though, that there is like a spirit that says something to him.
Yeah. You hear just for a moment, get out.
Right. It's just dumb and throwaway, but it's still like, it's not even enough to introduce, like, is the house haunted? Like, are supernatural entities a thing in this universe? Like, oh no, it's just a dumb joke.
Like, if the stereo and the TV both being on at the same time as a party, what happens if he introduces like a second TV?
Or is that how you end the party? Just turn the TV off.
It's not a party anymore. The TV's off.
Like Danger Mouse is blaring. Everyone's dancing and having a good time. People have got glow sticks and they're rocking their thing, and then Cal just turns the TV off, and everyone
there's a TV in the corner that has like C-SPAN on.
Someone's watching YouTube on their phone. Now it's a party.
Give me those glow sticks. Party's over.
When I lived up north, I did go out when I was teaching at my first school. A group of us went out to a nightclub. I don't remember where it was, and it doesn't matter. But we're out at this club, and they had TVs on, and they were playing Nightmare on Elm Street. And so I kid you not, and it wasn't even like Halloween. They're just Nightmare on Elm Street's on TV. It should be of no surprise to you that I found myself
just watching TV.
I'm on the dance floor, and like I was typically asked out to go. I was asked to go to the dance clubs with like the female teachers as like their like token male. And so I would go, and they would dance, and I would just kind of I would be in proximity to them if they needed somebody to leave. I found myself standing in the middle of the dance floor holding a drink watching Nightmare on Elm Street muted in the middle of a dance club. So,
hey ladies, check this out. Oh, blood flood.
It's just like Blade. Oh man. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up another episode of Let's Talk About Flicks. You can catch us on social media, everywhere where social media is sold. You can also hit us up on your favorite podcast app or watch us on YouTube. Before we sign off, though, what do we got next week? It's your film.
It is my film, and it's one of my like guilty pleasure faves. Again, continuing sports comedy month because we didn't want to repeat any sports. We're going with 1996's Farrelly Brothers classic, Kingpin.
Yes,
I could probably recite this movie in my sleep.
I could do a lot of it, yes, for sure. Not as much as you, but a lot of it.
Oh, I love this. Love this movie so much.
And it's even older.
It is 96.
I know.
That was 26 years old.
We were still in high school when this came out.
Yeah.
Now we're old. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Well, comment below. Honestly, we don't really reach out much for this, but comment below. Let us know if there's any movies you'd like to hear us cover, and we could kind of reverse engineer it into a topic. Yeah, I'm sure.
Whether it's a movie or a theme.
Yeah, or a theme. True. Because here we are, 42 weeks in, and we're just trucking right ahead with what we want to talk about. So I'm thinking maybe, not that we're in this for the listeners, but
I'm in it for myself. I don't know about you. Right. I'm not even in it for you. This is all about me.
But podcast downloads, Sports Comedies Month so far has warranted 5 listens. And so maybe if you told us what you wanted to hear, we'd love to hear it. So you can catch us again, Twitter, Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're not on Snap. We're not on the cool new ones.
No,
we don't do any of the cool new ones. We don't have a MySpace though either, so we're not on.
We're not on Google Circles.
Yeah. Find our find our AOL Instant Messenger down below, and you can send us
You can find our CD at Best Buy.
Yeah, exactly.
In your shopping bag,
or any Sam Goody.
Netscape Navigator.
Exactly. And we do list down below our favorite Yahoo chat rooms. So if you'd like to hit us up, we'll be right down there. Joking, of course. But yeah, we will be back next week for Kingpin. So for Let's Talk About Flicks, I'm Oz.
I'm Curtis.
And we will see you next week.